what many would consider the main event of the day, came third in the order of coaches, Nick Saban. He talked about the unprovenness of this year's Alabama team.
We're basically an unproven team in some areas. There's a lot of question marks, because of the players that we lost and the players that we have coming in.
He talked about disciplinary issues.
How do we react to that? How do we respond to that when you have a family and you have someone in your family who disappoints you? And we certainly can't kick them out of our family. I think we have to try to support them, teach them, and get them to do the right thing.
He responded to a question about the college football playoff.
I think that I'm hopeful, that when we choose the teams that are in the playoffs, that we take the 13 years of experience that the BCS had in tweaking their system of picking teams so that they get the right 4 teams in the game.
He also discussed players leaving early for the NFL draft and a new draft system.
Well, I think, as you look at trends, you have to say that I think in 3 years we went from 53 players to 102 players going out early for the draft. 36 of those players did not even get drafted this year. I think 32 of those guys got drafted in the first or second round. And my philosophy is, look, I'm not disappointed in any players. When they make the decision to go do what they're going to do, we're 100% supportive of them, and we want to see them do well. That benefits them, it benefits us, it's what we're all about. But we do try to give them good advice when it comes to making a business decision about their football career. And what people don't look at is if you're going to be a 5th or 6th round draft pick, they say, I'm going out early so I get to a second contract faster. There's only a 25% chance you're ever going to get a second contract. And your chances of making the team are not nearly as good as a first, second, or third round draft pick. So if you stayed in school, you would have a much better chance of becoming one of those guys by improving and developing and playing more, rather than taking that gamble and that risk that you will be able to sustain a career by being not high drafted. Because the financial commitment that a team makes in you by being a first or second round draft pick protects you. They're going to keep you and try to develop you. But if you're not, from a business standpoint, you're really looking at a lot of exposure, especially if you can't make the team, because you have no protection. So we're going to continue to try to do the things that we've done. I know the NFL has expressed we read about some rules that we're only going to be allowed to submit, and you need to check this out, but I just read it before I came over here, 5 players for junior grades because it's getting overwhelming for them. We had 11 last year, and that a guy's going to get a first round grade, a second round grade, or a stay in school grade.
He got the media going with some laughs about his grandkid.
Life with the grandbaby is great. It's a great experience. I hope that it's one that many of you have the opportunity to, have someday in your future. And I've only made a few mistakes in terms of being a grandfather to this point, and that's after so many times of as soon as the baby makes a peep and seeing somebody run to pick her up, you say, she'll be fine. Let her cry. That was a mistake. That was a huge mistake.
He talked about the schedule he envisions.
You know what? I'm a proponent of. I played in the NFL for 8 years, and we had 32 teams in the league, and we all played for 32 teams in the league. And I think that we're talking about going to this, 5-conference sort of whatever we're going to call it, Big 5 or whatever it is, and I'd be all for playing all of our games against those guys. It's what the fans want.
He denied any rumors linked to Texas
Well, I didn't have any conversations with them. Nobody offered me anything, and so I guess if I didn't have any conversations with them, I didn't have very much interest.
And, finally, he got the media laughing once again as he walked off.
But I know you all pick a winner in the conference, every year. I'm not saying who you picked this year. But last year, you'd actually been wrong, like 17 out of 21 times. Now you're wrong 18 out of 22. But you've also not picked the right team the last 5 years in a row. And every year that we've been fortunate enough to win the championship, you pick somebody else to win it. So just to let you know that we're evaluating you.